Hello Linux lovers, my name's Wimpy, welcome to my world. Right, we're going to get into this. It's more Quickemu. If you're watching this on YouTube after the fact, this was originally recorded live on twitch.tv/Wimpy's World. So if you'd like to join in these sessions interactively, we'd love to have you. Come over to Twitch and give us a follow. Good morning, Yannick. Welcome back. Hello, King Egypt. Yes, you get yourself a mug of tea. I have the very same here. A Yorkshire tea, no less. Hello, Linux Paul. How you doing? Thanks for stopping by. Right then. Well, it was Quickemu yesterday. We put out a new release. I was very happy with that. Popey obviously filed a bug fix, so I merged that, or rather an improvement. And then, before you know it, people are submitting pull requests and what have you. And I started doing the refactoring. Last night, I did a whole bunch of refactoring to make QuickGet much easier to work with from a maintainability and developer point of view. And I realize I'm now going to block a load of, merge proposals and pull requests and what have you, because I'm significantly changing the internals of how QuickGet works. It doesn't change how it actually functions to the end user, but the internals are changing quite considerably. So I need to finish that work so that I don't perpetually be in the position where people submit pull requests and they almost immediately got conflicts. So we're going to work through this quickly, and I'm going to explain. Well, this is one of my favourite things to do when I'm, just tinkering at the computer for fun. It is a bit of code folding. Now, I've done all of the code folding, but I'll go through some of that as we sort of merge that stuff back into the project. Hey, Luke, how you doing? You're just heading out to the library. Good morning. Hello, how you doing? You've got your Earl Grey, Paul. Good, good. Always good. Right. I'm just looking around at all of the critical statistics. Everything appears to be working. I'm just going to put some things to one side so I can see what's occurring. There we go. Right, let's head here. So this is the project that we're working on again. It is Quickemu. I can see there was some activity on the icons yesterday, probably as a result of all the recent work from various people adding new operating systems. And that has continued, which is why I need to pull my... Oh my gosh, that pull request number has gone up since I looked earlier this morning. Okay, so we've got some pull requests here. And I think the way I'm going to tackle this is I've already got a bunch of changes that I've made locally. And I'm going to get those committed. And then I'll look at how many of these I can actually merge. And then those ones that can't be merged, I may ninja in manually and sort of do the work that these add. So we've got that. So what have we got here? So this is an interesting one. Well, I'll show how you use the new additions feature from a developer point of view, how you add additions to an existing download, because that's a neat feature I described exists yesterday, but it's very easy to add support for. This is adding an additional addition to Debian, so we'll get to do that then. Something about the Slackware name, don't know about that. White space formatting rules, curious. Oh, Dragonfly, I was going to add that myself as one of the example ones I was going to work through by means of adding something new to check how the new sort of flow of adding an operating system worked. So that's interesting that somebody's opted to do that one. That will be all of the BSDs. I think when this one lands, all of the BSDs will be in Quickemu. And then FreeDOS, and I need to catch up on the conversation there. So, what have we got here? So, do you drink it black or with milk? I drink my tea with milk, King Egypt. Right then. What's this about work tomorrow, Yannick? Is this for Quick GUI? Is that what you're referring to? Yannick is sort of doing most of the heavy lifting for Quick GUI these days. Right, yes, and Linux Paul makes... I see that feature chat is not working again. That's a bit of... Oh, actually, I'm in the wrong thing. Look at this. That's not what I want. I want this one. That's why. I wondered why it was blank. Okay, this makes sense now. So Linux Paul makes this observation. Oh my gosh, I need to scroll an awful long way down past yesterday's chat. It's not going to work, is it? Oh well. Featured chat. You're great when you work and a pain when you don't. But Linux Paul makes the point that it never ceases to be amazed how a simple project to scratch an itch can take on a life of its own. Yeah, it's curious that, isn't it? Yeah, and Yannick is going to be streaming tomorrow because today is Wednesday. So Yannick will be streaming tomorrow evening. Feel free to put your channel in the chat, Yannick, so people can find out where to find you. Yannick usually streams around about 9 p.m. UK time, 10 p.m. Central European time over on Twitch TV/FrenchGuyCH. So Yannick will be there tomorrow night. Oh, right. I don't know. I see. So King Egypt was inquiring about how to drink Earl Grey. Right then. So we'll have these pull requests to catch up on, but let's go and take a look at the current state of things. I think the best place to do that is here in Gitkraken. And you can obviously see I'm at the lodge. And I was working on this last night from home. And I have to say, those of you that are familiar with Syncthing, oh, it's a developer's essential tool. I have Syncthing sitting on top of my whole development tree, which is a sizable number of projects in there, and it synchronizes my development directories between home and here at the lodge. And I'm going to say something, I'm touching wood, it has never failed me. It's amazing that I come here and I find that all of my development setup is exactly as I left it at home. I'll do work here, return home, and everything's exactly as I left it when I left here. And in the before times, I used to have Syncthing on my laptop as well. Well, it is on my laptop, I just haven't turned my laptop on in 2 years. And that synchronizes the same stuff. So it doesn't matter where in the world I am or what device I'm working on. My development environment is in perfect harmony in all of the places that I work on stuff. I absolutely love that workflow. It's such a time saver. None of this, oh, I just have to make a bunch of gash commits to Git, because as you can see, I've got a bunch of unstaged work here. It's all just been synchronized over. It's beautiful. Love it. So can't say enough good things about Syncthing as a sort of a curious developer tool, because I use it in probably an uncommon way, but it's very, very handy. Right then. Right then. Hello Esme, how you doing? Good morning. I need this syncing in my life. Yeah, Syncthing is terrific. It's a little bit fiddly when you've got lots of devices you want to synchronize, but overcoming that, it's so robust. I absolutely love it. Right then, so these are some of the changes I've got queued up. Let's just take a look at QuickGet. There's a bunch in here, quite a lot. So what I'm going to be doing here is fundamentally changing how you write these get functions. These get functions are the logic to describe to QuickGet how to download and validate, it's in most cases an ISO image, an image of an operating system. And you can probably see here, so some of the red lines that have been removed here, there's a bunch of stuff calling webget, check hash, make VM config. Well, what we're going to do is we're going to remove all of that requirement to have those in the get functions. I've created a wrapper down in the, further down the way that this is called, which will automatically call all of those functions to actually do the downloading, check the hashes, build the VM configuration. And all that the author of a get function needs to do now is the mechanics of deriving the URL to download the image and providing a hash if one is available, and echoing that out as a single string, space delimited, so the full path to the ISO or image, and then the corresponding hash. And that's all that this function needs to do now, and it doesn't require any boilerplate in order to function. So the only thing that needs to exist in here is the logic to actually derive the URL and the hashes. And that means that these functions can be a lot smaller, in some cases like a couple of lines. And that makes it easier to maintain, and it makes it easier for people to figure out how to actually contribute to the project. So that's what all of these are. This is quite a big refactoring, and it throws out hundreds of lines of code. And then the change that we've got down here is that instead of, you know, calling the validate releases and then the get function for the corresponding operating system, we still do the validate releases, but now we run it in a wrapper called create VM, and create VM calls the appropriate get function. That get function, in air quotes, returns that string of the URL and the hash. And then the create VM function, which I've already committed, then passes that string, turns it into an array, and then runs all of the go and download the image, go and check the hashes if there was a hash provided, and then build the corresponding virtual machine. Hello Takov, good morning. So that's what we're working on, and this is in terms of the pull requests that people have been providing. This is a breaking change. This will mean that, you know, pull requests will then be conflicts for sure. So it's a little bit of uncomfortableness now, but it's good for the long term. And then I've just got a few bits of cleanup here. So I think what we'll do is we'll get all of those cleanups in now, because these are unrelated. These are just general cleaning up of stuff. This is all basic bits and pieces. That's all fine. And I think, yes, that was missing. I didn't realize. Goodness only knows how QuickGet has actually been functioning without setting the lang to C. Right, okay, so I don't think any of that is just general cleanup. I think this is all part of a huge refactoring. So we'll get rid of that. And so we've just got a few cleanups here. So we'll just do minor code cleanup. Get those in. That's sorted improvements. And then we'll get down to the actual business of this. In fact, we'll bump the version now whilst we're at it. Because this is what will be 3.13 at some point in the future. Okay. What have you seen there now? Wimpy, did you know that your name on the right hand corner is showing as Martin? I can't unsee it now. On the right hand corner. Oh, so it is. Look at that. I wondered what that was. I don't even know how I edit that. I'll fix that later. Thank you, Esme. Right then. So we have a bunch of these, and this is my instructions, which have also changed. This is part of the quick and dirty guide that sits at the top of the QuickGet code, which now looks like that. And you can see here the example function. This is a sort of an ideal world example where there isn't any complicated logic. That's uncommon, but I'd say probably 30% of them are as simple as this. And that explains how you would create one of these get functions. I need to expand this at some point with a bit more context, but it's close enough. So let's go through what we've got here. So that's the in air quotes documentation. So this is the first one that we changed. You can see this had a number of lines removed. This is quite simple. Basically declaring the variable for the ISO image, where the URL is, something to derive the hash value, and then returning the value there. And that's kind of the new flow. So just removing these few lines makes this a lot more accessible. And the other advantage of doing this is if we are, each of these functions just returns a string like so, it should now be possible to create another sort of function which can introspect all of the get functions and build a list of every full path to the download and corresponding hash. So that is something we could output in the CSV and the JSON that QuickGUI consumes, and potentially in the future QuickGUI could do the downloading itself rather than using QuickGet, or another tool could sit on top of that big list of stuff and do things with it. But it provides a it's not, I'm not saying you have to do it, Yannick, it's just an example. But we were talking yesterday about potentially having QuickGet just being used as a downloader. So this could help facilitate that, because we could have, maybe instead of QuickGet, we could have Quick Download as a wrapper that sits around QuickGet and calls into these get functions to pull out the values that it needs.
Thank you for the follow, Rodrigues _.
Hello, Rodrigues. Good morning and welcome to the stream. Thanks for stopping by. Hello, Big Pod. How you doing? Right, so before we merge this stuff, what we're going to do is we're actually going to put the fabric in place that supports this. And this is that little bit of code there and that little bit of code there. And I think...
Thank you for the follow, 6134A31.
Well, that's an imaginative name. Very unusual. Thank you for the follow, if you're a person. What am I doing, Big Pod? We're doing another massive refactoring and code folding on Quickemu. Following yesterday's release, I started making some changes, and I can see the rate of pull requests is already accelerating, and I need to get ahead of that so I don't block people by having all of the code change underneath them. So yeah, I'm just going to work through this. This is some stuff I prepared last night after I did race practice over on Linux Gamecast. By the way, Yannick, I missed you on the race practice last night. Good set of tracks they've got lined up for this week. They are really good fun. So I suggest hopping on their server at some point and having a go. There were no hateful tracks. Everyone upvoted every track in the mix, and we had bags of fun with them there. It was really good. Right then, so I think that is as much as we need here. I think maybe what we'll do is we'll put the docs in this commit as well. I say docs, they're not docs, but it's kind of what we have. So I will stage that, which is the corresponding how to do it, and this is the what to do. So we'll say so that's the actual sort of breaking change, if you like. At this point, this changes the expectations on how everything works. So everything from this point now will be a refactoring of the discrete functions to become create VM compatible. So yeah, Big Pod, it doesn't escape me that this has kind of taken on a life of its own, and what started out as a simple convenience shell script has now become quite sophisticated. And in fact, you know, this refactoring that I'm doing here, it's like in a normal programming language you would just be able to return, you know, variables from a function, and of course there is no facility to really do that in Bash. You either create a global variable, or you know, you echo something back and then consume. So it's a bit jank. Yeah, maybe not now, certainly not now. At the moment it's still working reliably, But maybe, you know, we'll re-implement this in another language at some point in the future. But for now, all of the logic and what it does is robust. So we don't need to change it, yes. But yes, I am mindful of the fact that we are pushing at the edges of what is reasonable with this. So this is the refactoring of the script for Ulma. So we will stage that. And we will say refactor get Ulma to add create VM compatibility. So that will be a template for what these look like in terms of the... Oh, hello, that staged up more than I wanted. Let's unstage these lines for Alpine because we don't want that stuff to go in. We want these to be discrete, so if we screw anything up we can go back and deal with, you know, particular merge proposals. So that's just the Alma change, and then hopefully this will be Alpine here. Yes, still due to go. So that's going to be the change. So there wasn't any code folding in this one, I don't think, but there are going to be examples of the other ones where there's genuine code folding, and that's a fun. I love doing code folding. It's brilliant. It's like a mental agility thing, you know, like doing the crossword or something, looking at some code and thinking, where can this code be folded on itself, and remove duplication. This whole don't repeat yourself dry principle in programming, and code folding is a great way to achieve that. Even in a shell script. Maybe actually even more so in a shell script. So that's that one done. This is the same for Alpine, and I don't think there is a little bit of coding here. So we had this local variable branch, and we were defining branch, and then we were using it here. And actually a simpler thing to do is, well, we've got this case statement for the release. Why add another variable? Why not just create the one variable that we need, which is the URL, and just replace the necessary bits in there? So that removed a variable and you know, a couple of lines of code. So, you know, saves. And it makes things look simpler. And the other reason I'm doing this is, as I said yesterday, the most activity we see in the project is changes to QuickGet. And every time there's a bit of bad practice in QuickGet, it gets copied by example as people add to it. So some of the refactoring I did was actually like my own bad habits that people had inherited in all of their code. So I'm trying to make this as clean and simple as possible. So future pull requests should also be clean and simple, because by and large people will be re-implementing and copying from what's already there. So we'll do the same for Alpine. That's a thing there. We'll just change this to Alpine, and we'll get that committed like so. So yeah, Yannick's let's have a look here. So let's have a look. So Takov says I had to a sub item. Only Python working, but from memory it was... I'm not quite sure what you're driving at there, Takov. Oh, XML and SOAP. Yes, okay. So what language other than Python would this be consumable for mere human beings? I mean, that was one of the things, right? I have found that if you create simple projects using a simple language, such as, you know, Bash, then it's a low barrier to entry for people to contribute and work on the project, which we saw from a non-developer friend of mine yesterday, Popey, when he made a pull request to the project. So there is some advantage in choosing something that's challenging from a sort of contribution point of view. I would probably look at Python to do something like this, because, you know, this being a bash script, it sits on top of a lot of sort of user space utilities like, you know, wget and zsync and various other things, you know, to provide its core functionality. And if you use something like, well, any language really, then you've got convenient modules to download stuff, so you wouldn't have to rely on any of those external utilities, which would be advantageous. So my natural leaning would be Python, but given that QuickGUI is written in Dart and Flutter, I think it would be an opportunity to learn Dart and maybe implement the engine in Dart and then bring it closer to the graphical user interface. So I've never written any Dart. Well, I've not written much in Dart, a little bit. But that would be a personally interesting learning experience. So that's probably what I would choose for this, just because QuickGUI exists and it's Dart and Flutter. So, right then. Hey Phil, hello Phil, welcome back. I'm breaking it all again. Sorry. Hopefully for the last time for a while. Right then. So let's push on. Let's get through some of these. Let's get through these quite quickly now. So this next one is what? Can't even flipping tell. Oh, yes I can. This is at the Android example. Hey, Solexburn. Welcome. Oh, it's a raid. Oh my gosh, that never happens. Thank you very much for the raid, and welcome to your viewers. Welcome, welcome. Hello, hello. What have you just been doing? What have you been doing on your stream? Yes, Dust, indeed. Wow, indeed. I think this is only the second time ever I've been raided. Certainly the first time I've been raided by someone new. Good morning, welcome. Hello, raiders. So what have you been up to? How was your stream? Hello, everyone. Good welcome, team. That's a good way. Oh, learning Rust. Interesting. We were just talking about potential languages to learn for if I rewrite what I'm working on here. Rust would be up there. I suggested Dart because there's a higher level graphical interface for this, written in Dart and Flutter. But the other two that I'd be interested in using would probably be Golang or Rust, because I haven't done much in either of those languages, and that would be fun to learn, I think. So let's get this merged up, because this one is all the changes for the Android downloader. So let's just check that.
Thank you for the follow, Solexburn.
Thank you very much for the follow. I appreciate that. And welcome one, welcome all. So the people that have come with the raid, are you any Linux enthusiasts there? We're almost exclusively quite big fans of Linux around here. But everyone's welcome. But we like a bit of Linux around here. We're on the road to 1K. This is also true. Yes, we're dangerously close to getting to 1K. That would be a fine milestone, I think. So this is the Arch Linux downloader. This one, was there some folding here? No, this was just good old-fashioned cleanup. I appreciate.
Follow Tacos Al Pastor 05.
Tacos Al Pastor. These. So this is Taco Al Pastor. Nice one. Thank you very much. Right, so that is the downloader for, oh, and it's pulled in part of Arco. Oh gosh, it's pulled in loads actually. Let's unstage those changes and do them by hand. Try and keep these relatively discreet. Oh, okay, WSL fans. Okay, well that's you're all welcome. Used to work on WSL in past life at Canonical. Did a load of work there with my good friend Hayden. So if you know WSL, you're probably familiar with Hayden Barnes, who's been hugely influential. in that space. He's now at Rancher stroke Sousa, working on WSL stuff these days. But we were previously both at Canonical working together on that stuff. It was good fun. Right then, so this is the Arch Linux, by the way. And you can see this got considerably simpler. This is now only 4 lines of stuff. Go and, you know, poke at a JSON API to get the URL and the hash. So what's this? Solburn says, I'm working on enjoying Linux even more. I can't really do Windows for development. Interesting. I'm mostly interested in Linux, but this particular project is a wrapper for QEMU, you know, the hypervisor, to make it really easy to run virtual machines on Linux. But it doesn't just run virtual machines, it downloads the operating system, completely configures the VM and optimizes it. But it can create Windows and macOS VMs as well as, you know, all of the Linuxes and the BSDs. So it's a nice tool, but it's required me to learn quite a lot about Windows and macOS over recent months in order to get the support decent. So it's kind of curious that I'm mostly interested in Linux, but this project has made me go back and learn a bunch of Windows and macOS stuff that I either never knew or had forgotten, you know, over time. Oh, okay, so you stream from a Linux VM. Okay, what OS do you use in the VM for Linux when you stream? Because if your answer is the right answer, I might have something for you that you'll be interested in. Oh, hey, Rob. Arch Linux, by the way. Yeah, I internet law requires me to tell you that I used to be an Arch Linux developer, by the way. Ah, right, Solburn, you're in luck. I've got something for you. Here we go. Let's plug some software for you that you'll find. This is another project of mine. Over here we go. So on my GitHub, as Wimpy's World, github.com Wimpy's World, there's this project here, OBS fully loaded. If you run this script on an Ubuntu system, it will download and install OBS from the project's official PPA, but then all of these plugins that make cool stuff happen, like this. Hello. So I'm streaming from Ubuntu as well. Like I say, I used to work at Canonical. It should come as no surprise that I'm running not Ubuntu, but Ubuntu Mate, which is the flavor that I work on. So yeah, that's OBS with batteries included to do everything imaginable and more. So yeah, if you're streaming with Ubuntu, you want to check this out. It's full of all the good stuff. There you go. But a little gift by way of a thank you for the raid. So where did we get to with this? We were working through the Arco, and this is more of it. So we'll just get this in here to clean up Arco. Temptation to plug. Oh, go for it, Dust. I should say, let's see now. One of the regulars with channel points to burn. Go on, fire something off. If you've got 2,000 channel points, you know which one to go for. But I'm using some software here to do the integration between Twitch. Here we go. It's Chelsea Cucumber, right? So who did that? Linux Paul, thank you very much. Probably the viewer here with the most channel points to burn. So all of this channel point and Twitch integration and the animations in OBS and a whole bunch of other stuff that we do here, that's all powered by atom.tv. So Dust, feel free to drop a URL in the chat. Everyone's having fun with the various effects and things. So that's all atom.tv that's making all of this work, and Atom works on Windows, Mac and Linux. So this is the only game in town. If you're streaming on Linux though, you want some Atom in your life. You can do all sorts of cool stuff. RJ, what's broken? You're running the glitch, yeah. So King Egypt says, Wimpy's World, is that your project, your preferred method rather than the OBS snap? Yes, it is. So I love everyone having fun with these stupid animations. Yes, I am now using that OBS fully loaded. The main reason is, just like I've been talking about Atom, I've got to a point where I want to do more of these interactive features to make it fun for, you know, the people that come here and you know, join in this silly nonsense. And one of the plugins I'm using in OBS is called Dummy Source, and it's like a null source, but when you turn it on and off, when you make it visible or hide it, you can have it run arbitrary binaries. So I can then do even more sort of clever integrations by having Atom make these bogus sources visible and execute code, and it really builds on the layers of what you can do. But you can't do that when you're using the snap, because the snap doesn't allow you to execute arbitrary binaries. So the creative ways that I wanted to use OBS, I was bumping into limits of, you know, these the confinement of the snap, and it was more important to me to have fun with OBS than to use the snap. So I'm going to be updating the snap to 27.2.1 probably tomorrow, now that those fixes are out for the NVIDIA stuff, and that will be my last update to the snap. And I've let the snap crafters know, and they're going to pick up the slack on keeping that maintained. But I'm now focusing on OBS fully loaded as what I use. And, you know, if you've been following how I've been tinkering with OBS over the last couple of years on Linux, I recommend that as the way to go for now. Chat's busy again this morning. So we'll just take a moment to catch up. Hey, oh, I need to look at the things. Bester Gester, welcome.
Thank you for the follow, Ewok.
Hey, Ewok, nice one. Thank you very much for the follow. I appreciate that. So, running arbitrary binaries. Yeah, and what could go wrong, Yannick? I mean, what could go wrong? So we do. Linux Paul is pointing out we do race nights, driving games, and that's when we really push what we do with OBS, and that's something that Yannick and I are having fun with at the moment. Okay, so Soulburn is considering setting up a dual boot. Okay, we'll likely be streaming on Linux in the near future. Well, have fun with that. If you want any tips and tricks, I stream here most days now, three times a week, something like that, 3 or 4 times a week. Drop in if you've got questions about OBS on Linux. More than happy to help. It's my favorite hobby, messing about with OBS on Linux. Right then. Did I miss anything from further up here? Hey, Evil Maximilian. No, I'm definitely not using Microsoft technologies, but curiously having to learn a lot about them in order to do this stuff. But you know, it's always good to learn new things. Oh, I'm on the wrong scene. There we go. Let's move back here. So get back into Git Kraken. Where were we? Have we picked up all of those changes yet? No, we haven't. That was the last one for Arco, wasn't it? There we go. Arco is a lot like Arch Linux, by the way.
Thank you for the follow, Evil_Maximilian.
Thanks, Evil Maximilian. Very good of you for the follow. This is terrific. Thanks for stopping by, Solburn. That's been most enjoyable little aside chat about OBS. I'm easily distracted about conversations about OBS though. Right then, so this one was Arco. Okay. And let's see now. This CashiOS, this is another Arch-based distro. I think it was one of the team members contributed this. I actually tested it out the other day to see like what some of these distros were that had been contributed. This CashiOS needs some work. Let's just politely leave it at that. That needs some attention. It's all flash and no. It's not very good. Just goes to show, just because you can make a distribution, you should question whether or not you should, because there's plenty of them these days. We don't need another overly themed monstrosity, which is what Cashi seems to be. Right then, Debian. Oh, we did quite a lot of work on Debian, and we've got a PR for that to add netinst, so we'll get all of this added. None of these are all requiring cherry picking to keep these discrete. There we go. But we added the
Thank you for the follow, Louis Gild.
Hello Louis Gild, thank you very much. I tell you what, seeing as though there's a bunch of new people here today, we haven't done one of these for a while. If you're running Linux in any form, doesn't matter if it's in a VM or on your machine, just whack into chat which distro you're using. It's always good to do these little straw polls just to see where people have landed in terms of their Linux use. So, and you regulars as well, let us know your distros. I'll start. I'll get going now. It's the mighty Chelsea cucumber for me. Best guest. Oh, Debian, nice choice. Are you using Debian 11, or have you are you still on like 10 or something, or are you on the bleeding edge? So I spend quite a lot of time working in Debian. Fedora, Linux Pool. Yes, got good Fedora support in QuickEmu now. Rumble Tum, I like that. Arch, by the way, well done. Points for the appropriate use of the meme. I like that. Fedora KDE for Esme, Phil, Ubuntu Mate, but of course Ubuntu and Manjaro. Oh, get you, King Egypt. Oh, Lubuntu. Oh, no. Oh, hey Dan, how you doing? Nice to see you here. Dan is instrumental in the making Lubuntu happen. Kubuntu with Pop! OS repo on top. Oh, right, okay, that's brave. Quite often when you put the Pop! OS PPA on top of any flavour, Pop! OS kind of takes over, it looks like. We've had lots of bug reports about things going over. Oh, nice machine you've got there. 6900 XT. Yeah, I've got one of those at home. Very nice, isn't it? I'm quite enjoying that, I have to say. New laptop, put Fedora on it. Manjaro i3. Okay. And 6134A31. Hello again. So you are a real person. I did wonder if you're a bot account. Welcome. So Kali. Okay, so Kali's supported in QuickEmu, Ubuntu and Debian. Okay, Dr. Urge, Ubuntu Mate. Oh, wonderful. Thank you very much. That's always good to see. I've used, so Besta Jester. Is that, am I saying that right? Besta Jester, maybe? Besta Jester? Yeah, it's not sure. They've used Debian Stable since Debian 6. Okay. So I do a lot of the work for maintaining packages for Ubuntu in Debian. So I probably do over 90% of my work as a Debian maintainer. And in fact, I was just talking to a good friend of mine, Mike, who's a Debian developer. And he was updating me on, we sort of co-maintain a bunch of packages in Debian. And he was telling me about some changes that are happening in Debian and the reason why we can't keep parity of those packages between Debian and Ubuntu. And he was suggesting that he and I have like a video call to catch up and figure out how we're going to handle this. And I've suggested to Mike he join me here on a stream and we have that conversation here. So anyone can follow along and learn what's going on. So he hasn't responded yet, but hopefully for those of you that have been around these parts for a while and hear me talk fondly about Mike and the help that I get from him, maybe soon you will see Mike here, and we'll actually work through, and you'll see both sides of the conversation of when Ubuntu and Debian come together and collaborate on something. So I'm hoping he'll take me up on the offer. He's a lovely fella, and that should be an interesting conversation. I imagine that will prompt some questions and discussion in the chat. So, Esme, I want an AMD GPU. Well, you could just say, I want a GPU. That seems to be the situation from a little while ago. Takov's on... Oh, you're on Jammy already. How's that working for you, by the way? I haven't been brave enough to put that on a meaningful machine yet, because I know where the bugs are. Okay. No, this is useful. This is always good. Okay, I'm assuming Bester Jester's saying that they love the idea of having Mike on and have us have a conversation about how we plan for these things. I may be doing more with Mike from later in the year as well. I think I'm going to be participating in a Debian-centric project. We've been chatting behind the scenes about something, so yeah, there could be something there. You're welcome, Bester Jester. I mean, one of the reasons I do these streams is because I'm going to be fiddling around on this stuff anyway. So I do it here. It helps, get people involved. Like, one of the reasons I'm doing this bit of refactoring now is to make it easier for people to contribute to this project. But also, by doing these streams, you find that it spreads the word about these projects, and you actually get more of contributions to your GitHub projects because you've made the effort to sort of find another way to make them accessible and explain to people how to get involved. So it definitely works. Every project where I've live streamed about them, way more contributions and activity than the projects that I've just, kicked off on my own and, not publicized in any meaningful way. Hello, Daft Spaniel. I like that. I like that username. Very good. Good morning. French guy CH. Oh, Yannick, you want a 3080 Ti? I've got one of those in here. That's what I'm using for this right now. I have to say it's a rather lovely GPU. I've got a 1080 Ti as well, but not here. That's another one of the pile of stuff, the pile of kit I've got at home. Right, King Egypt says Jammy has been fine for them. Oh, that's good. Good to hear. Okay. Soulburn, don't start text editor chat. We'll have a complete meltdown. Everyone will be telling you how fabulous Nano is, and it's the best text editor in the world. Hey, Stunner. Hello, welcome to the stream. Thank you for stopping by. Right then. Let's have a look then. Yannick, thank you very much for reminding people. It'll be astonishing if we get there. That is one of those little vanity metrics that I'm quite interested in achieving. Right then. So there was always anything Arch related is, by the way, always it's the law or an old charter or something. Right then, what was this one? This was Debian. There we go. We've refactored this. This was Get Debian. So that's how we got started. Oh, I started the conversation on. Yeah, Nano. Nano's awesome, except I'm using Visual Studio Code. It's a meme of the channel. I like Nano for historical reasons, which I won't bore you with right now, but I like Nano. I actively avoid using Vi and Vim. Right then, so this was Dev 1, which is the Debian, in air quotes, fork, or System D less fork. And I was hugely skeptical about this project when it was first announced. Oh, how long ago was it now? Maybe 5 years ago? But they seem to be going from strength to strength. So, all power to their elbow. Here's what I know. Right then, so Dev 1. Right then, that's that one done. And elementary. So that this one is now the simplest. So we were able to fold this one down to just 4 lines of code, and 3 of those are just creating variables. So that's a very easy one to do. So we'll update that one. I have to say I was very pleased that the Windows 10 and 11 stuff is properly fixed now. That was great to see that properly working yesterday. I think we'll pick up on the oh gosh, what's this? Fedora. Okay, so this is Fedora, but these are discrete again because there's a big chunk of stuff. So I think I may want to start looking at the GPU pass-through stuff again. I think the next thing I really want to fix is there's some people still complaining that audio is not working in macOS when it's in a VM, and they're reporting that against the versions that it should work in. So I think I want to have a look at that, see what we can do.
Thank you for the follow, Entia.
It looks like, thank you very much, Entia. Thank you very much for the follow. It looks like the OpenCore team have kind of given up trying to make it work, because the recent support that they've added for audio for running on Big Sur and Monterey in a VM is pass-through support for some specific cheap USB audio devices. So clearly that's not like actually trying to get the hardware working inside the VM. So I think that we'll have to document that and signpost that more clearly. So FreeBSD, this was one that we've got a PR outstanding for, so we'll need to get this in so we can add the additions, because at the moment for FreeBSD, the original contributor had it just downloading the DVD image. Somebody suggested that's a bit overkill, so they want to change it outright to use the CD image, and I thought, well, why not both? So we'll use the new additions feature that we added yesterday, so you can choose. We'll default it to the CD image, but have it so you can choose the DVD image should you need it. So that's the FreeBSD one. So hopefully you're following along here, Phil. If you've got questions about any of this, okay. So this was Garuda. Garuda's an interesting distribution in that I've always struggled with these distro teams or individuals who make a distribution but then make like 17 variations of it. And it's like the only difference being the window manager or the desktop interface. I've always been curious about that, because you can't like polish any of them because you're not focused on one thing. You're just trying to do everything, jack of all trades, master of none. And Garuda's like that. It's got every desktop and window manager imaginable, which I find curious as to why you would do that. What's this here? So Windows 11 license. Oh wow, okay. How much is a Windows 11 license these days? Is it expensive, or is it not such a big deal anymore? Which one was this? I can't remember. I'll have to come back to that and look at it. So GhostBSD. I think it might be Gen 2. I think it is Gen 2, isn't it? Yeah, that's Gen 2. Okay. So these lines are to clean up Gen 2, convert it over to create VM. I was looking through the list of, like, you know, supported distros and OSs in Quickemu, and trying to think of like what's the most obvious distro that isn't supported. So there you go, similar to the what distro do you use, what distro isn't in Quickemu that's sort of, you know, conspicuous by its absence? what should be in here that isn't. So GhostBSD, I added this one because GhostBSD is sort of the principal Mate implementation on the BSDs, and that team actually contribute the BSD patches and support to upstream Mate desktop, which I also work on. So I added GhostBSD in here as a sort of a little recognition of the fine work that they do. They also have an XFCE version though, but I've included it as part of the additions, but I was like, oh, that's a bit disappointing to see. You've been riding the Mate train for years now. So GhostBSD. It's interesting to me, there was a bunch of like desktop focused BSDs, and the outfit in California were even working on their own desktop, Lumina I think it was called. And when I went back and looked recently, I was kind of surprised to see there are other than Ghost, I think I'm correct in saying this, none of the BSDs have like a desktop orientated, you know, out of the box experience. You get what looks like a very antiquated installer. Their installers leave a lot to be desired, and no, you know, graphical environments by default. And when you do install them, it's FVWM. It is literally like going back to the dark ages of Linux in the sort of the mid 1990s. It's astonishing. So you've really got to want some BSD in your life, I think, to sort of go with that. So this is Haiku. Haiku's fun. That's if you've not looked at that, that's a good one to run up in QuickEmu. That's kind of BOS, but that's quite decent, I have to say. So here's Kali. So are all 3080s Ti's the same? Why does the price change between the manufacturers? They're not all the same. What you tend to be paying for in the different versions, Yannick, is higher boost clock speeds, which is really a matter of like 75 megahertz here or 100 megahertz there. It doesn't actually make any significant difference to your perceived performance of the card. But most of the price differences are on their cooling solutions. And in my opinion, the best that's available is the one that I have, which is the Asus TUF Gaming, has by far and away the most efficient cooler for what is a card that can get quite toasty. Mine's currently, considering all that it's doing right now, I've got the doors shut here, I don't have AC in this room. The case temperature, in fact the GPU temperature is 56 degrees Celsius, so it works remarkably well. And if you remember, this is quite a small, you know, it's a small form factor case. This is a mini DTX. If you want to learn about this, I suggest going to the Hardware Unboxed channel. A couple of Australian guys that do PC hardware reviews. Go and have a look at their reviews of the sort of the different GPUs. They explain like they don't do significant performance benchmarking between the versions of the cards from the different manufacturers because it's kind of a wash. But what they do look at is the power consumption and cooling performance and noise profiles, and that's sort of the differentiators. So this is Kali. Right then. Hopefully I've caught up on all of that. Right then, let's see how we're doing here. We've done quite a lot of these. KDE Neon. That's going to pull in loads of stuff, so we need to do this by hand. There we go. That should just be those lines. It is. So this is a bit of a chore doing it like this, but I don't want to just like spam a massive change without it being clear what actually changed in each commit, which is why I use Git Kraken to stage these hunks in this way. It means you can code like that. make every change imaginable. You don't have to get into doing branches and all the rest of it, and then you can discreetly send them up after the fact. So this is how, and Calibri, this is my new favorite thing. If you don't know what this is, it's awesome. It's not a Linux, it's not a BSD, it's a homegrown, completely from scratch operating system, entirely written in assembler, which sounds like, you know, it must be awful. It's amazing. It's amazingly good, and it runs in 8 megabytes. That's megabytes of RAM. It's brilliant. So grab a copy of Quickemu and run up Calibri for a lot of fun. It's got a lot of utility for such a small thing. It's got a web browser and an IP stack and a whole bunch of tools and utilities. It's remarkably comprehensive. I absolutely love it. Hello Popey, how you doing? Thank you for your pull request yesterday. That's merged. I was wrong, you were right. Nice one, thank you. Works a treat and feels much more the right way of doing things. I've gone through and I've actually like tweaked the rest, with the exception of Regolith, which has this weird way of doing releases that I have to keep the code names in. But all of the others I've moved to version numbers where it makes sense, or actually moved to, oh hello. Have I just, no, that's all good. This is Manjaro. Yeah, this one had loads of stuff we could fold in here. We got rid of all manner of variables and simplified this. So what was quite a complex wind of code, we've really made that one so much simpler. So does that have, yes it does, the echo at the end there, good. So let's get Manjaro done. Okay, you're all on GPU chat, love it. Oh, get you Popey, did a pull request for a Go project yesterday which got merged. It's almost like you're a developer. Now Popey, let's not get carried away with yourself. Okay, getting all heady with 2 pull requests in one day. I saw you were streaming on YouTube again yesterday, Popey. How did that go? Because so Popey's a good friend of mine. He blasted through to get Twitch affiliate, or the invite to be a Twitch affiliate, in a week, and then I suggested he try streaming on YouTube by comparison. So Popey, how's your, I think you've done two or three streams on YouTube. How's it going? What's this? MX Linux. Okay. So one of the changes I made in MX Linux is the upper level names I actually advertised as the same case that the project uses, so we don't have to do this case statement to switch between different capitalization of the release names. If we use the same as upstream, then it simplifies the code considerably. So Popey says, yeah, it was a new game, so I saw that. Looks interesting. You hadn't played it before. Nice bunch of friendly people watching and helping me. When I've seen your streams on YouTube, you seem to get, as I suspected, considerably more people joining in. Is that an accurate statement, do you think? I'm still, you know, as soon as Dust and Co knock YouTube into shape and get them to add all of the interactive cool stuff that I like, I'm probably going to go to YouTube, but not until I can do the fun stuff. Yeah, it did look good, didn't it, Esme? So Popey says, yeah, way more on YouTube, but not surprised because I have a few thousand subs there. Yeah, I'm not sure it's that though. You know, I see, even when my YouTube channel was small, well, it still is small, but you know, I think there's 4,000 people there. But when it was like 600,000 people there on YouTube, I would have 150 people in the streams. And what is it today? Right now, we've got 40 people here, and that's a good day for me. Like 40, and we had a few more because we had a raid. First time in ages we've had a raid, and it peaked at around 46, 47. So that's considerably higher than I would expect to see. So this is a good day for me. 40 people on Twitch, an excellent day, in fact. But on YouTube, you know, with a real small subscriber base, it would be comfortably 100 people in the stream. Right then. So it's interesting. I appreciate you taking on these experiments because I've got my theories about what it, how it should go, but it's good to hear that maybe there's success to be found there. Also, I'm asking these questions because you and I are overdue a conversation about something else, and I'm suggesting we do. Well, I want to suggest we do that on YouTube. QuickGet gets a decent viewership. Yeah. Morning, Graham, by the way. Yeah, the QuickGet stuff seems to be quite popular. But I think because it crosses over outside of just the sort of the Linux stuff. Yeah, the game streaming that we do here, you know, it's not what I'm known for outside of my small circle of friends that I do it with. But the dev streams are more popular than the game stuff by a country mile. So Yannick, it's interesting. I think maybe we'll do a Q&A about that because, yeah. So that's the thing. Not allowed to co-stream to YouTube and Twitch, but it appears you are allowed to stream on both platforms, just not at the same time if you're a Twitch affiliate. So that's something to consider as well. I might do a test stream on YouTube and see how it goes, just to sort of test the waters. But I will miss all the fun stuff, so that would be a shame. Right, where was I? What was this? This was MX Linux. Apparently, the world's most popular distribution. Because, you know, it ships with Fluxbox and XFCE, so, you know, why would it not be the world's most popular distribution? I'm sorry, I'm being catty. I'm triggering Popey. Popey and I have a long-held belief that distro watches bunkum, and it's not a belief, it's science that distro watches bunkum. I'm kind of baiting him deliberately. Oh, NetBoot, this is an interesting one. There's now a PixieBoot VM, and that installs a ton of OSs. So actually, I could have just re-implemented Quickemu to just do NetBoot Windows and macOS, and through the NetBoot support, like, it's got everything imaginable in there. So if you really want to have a poke around, give the NetBoot image a try in Quickemu. You can access loads of stuff. Loads of stuff. Right then. So what about Restream? Yeah, I'm thinking for work. So we stream over on Slim DevOps here on Twitch. So twitch.tv/SlimDevOps. We'll be streaming tomorrow, and we've got Brendan O'Leary from GitLab on. We're going to be diving into their hacking week and all sorts of stuff that's going on there, doing some Code Lab stuff. Why did I talk about that? I've lost my train of thought completely. Oh, it's gone. Oh well. Anyway, so streaming over. Oh, that was it. But I'm thinking for the work channel, we haven't accepted our Twitch affiliate status yet for the work channel. And I'm considering experimenting co-streaming using Restream to stream to Twitch and to YouTube with our work channel, because we don't do any of the super fancy interactive features with work. So I think we're going to try that out and test the waters and see how it works. So I'm going to join you, Popey, in this little experiment to see how that works out. Because we've been offered the affiliate status, but I haven't accepted it yet. Because one of the sort of bits of advice I see circulating is people saying don't go for affiliate to give you the freedom to stream multiple places. So I thought, well, whilst I'm able, let's actually test that theory and see how it works out. Twitch affiliate. Okay, so if you just start streaming on Twitch, you're just a Twitch streamer. I don't know if it has a particular status name. If Dust is still here, he can probably fill in the gaps. After you get to a certain sort of audience level,
thank you for the follow 2xxxy.
Thanks very much for the follow. Welcome to the stream. Appreciate that. You get taken up to affiliate, and that's when you can, in air quotes, monetize your Twitch streams, and it unlocks some additional community features and stuff like that. And then, you know, if you go up to the next level, you can be partnered, and there's a whole bunch of additional benefits on top of that. So it's just like your monetization tier that you can use within Twitch, but also some features that it enables on the platform that you don't ordinarily have access to. But it is a contract, and it's an exclusive contract with Twitch, technically. Although that looks like it's changed recently, because you can stream elsewhere, just not concurrently. No, simultaneously. Right then, what was this one, I wonder? NixOS. We've got all of the container-centric distros now, so you can get NixOS and you can get some Fedora Silverblue in your life via Quickemu now. So if you want to try dipping your toe into the water of what the future Linux desktop holds, then you know, Quickemu is a safe space to do that. Here's the OpenBSD one.
Thank you for the follow RCE_exploit.
RC exploit. Very good. Thanks very much for the follow. I appreciate that. Right then, what are we doing here? This is OpenBSD, this one. Let's get that one in. So, 65 followers away. Yes, Yannick, it's astonishing, isn't it? I don't think we'll get there today. I mean, the day's been explosive growth in terms of my tiny corner of Twitch. Way more followers and what have you today than I've seen in a long time. We'll get there. We'll get there. I will have a little celebration if I get to 1,000 for sure. Right then, this is OpenSUSE. Oh, it's not going to let me. I'm going to have to cherry pick this as well. Right then, let's get this in. I really need to get Hayden on, actually. Have a catch up with Hayden here. Find out what life's like over in the OpenSUSE side of the world and what he's working on these days. Maybe, I was saying earlier about I'm hoping Mike will join me. We'll do some Ubuntu and Debian crossover sort of planning and work collaboration. But maybe I should start reaching out to some of my friends and get them to come have a friend on once a week to, dig into some stuff that ordinarily people, wouldn't get insight into.
Thank you for the follow STECC 1977.
Nice username. Welcome to the stream. What was this? This was OpenSUSE, wasn't it? Right then, let's get that merged. Come on. We must nearly be there. We're down to O now. Oh, Oracle Linux. Yeah, we managed to fold this one quite a good amount. Just by reordering some variables, managed to cut out a bunch of pointless code. So get all of this in. There we go. And Oracle Linux. I wonder how they've benefited from the CentOS situation. So King Egypt says they gave Silverblue a real try, but couldn't get with it. Chimera OS is an immutable that I still use. I don't know that one. I'll have to have a look at that. Is it its own thing, or is it based on something like Nix? So, yes, Yannick, we do need to do that. So, Yannick, maybe you and I could do, maybe I need to, I don't have like a guest stream set up for like this coding stuff. I'll update OBS to support that, but maybe you and I, you can come on and we'll do that as, I invite my friend on and we'll do something meaningful. We'll do that Mania Planet Docker Compose stuff and get Quick Mania going. So this is the Pop! OS refactor. Pop! OS, the other internet's most popular distribution, if you believe the hype. Right then. Anyone using Pop! OS here in the chat? So I don't know what. So 613-4A31. That's a weird username. You need to do something about that. They're asking me where's my donation link. Well, I'm not really doing this for monetization. Any money that this channel makes, we plow it back into my little community. So recently, the money that this Twitch channel makes, we've invested in a dedicated server, which is what Yannick's referring to, where we're hosting game servers and we're using for other stuff to support our little community. So there is in the Twitch panels on the About page places where you can drop a tip and what have you. But it's not about the money, it's about having fun and, you know, connecting with like-minded, you know, people and Linux enthusiasts and nerds and stuff like that, racing game enthusiasts. But any money that it makes, we're putting into just improving what we do here, and occasionally that means buying a little bit of kit to do something interesting with. Right then, what's this now? So JMMDG, crikey, some of these names are really difficult to go with. So they want to try Pop Shell, but it doesn't seem to support the version of GNOME Shell in the Arch repos. Ah, right, okay, so you you want to have your cake and eat it too. You're on Arch, but you want what Pop are up to. You may struggle. Those are going to be moving at different cadences, I think. Yannick, you're such a cheeky boy. Right then, Regolith. We'll merge all of this in. This has got a curious way of releasing images, and also I realised yesterday whilst we were doing the bits and pieces that 2104 is EOL now, so I dropped all of the 2104 stuff that existed in the supported releases for this, so that was one way to clean up some cruft in the code. So Regolith, if you haven't tried it, is a great example of how to do tiling window manager distro right, because it doesn't focus on the tiling bit but actually sort of the user experience bit. Is extremely well done. So again, use Quickemu to try out Regolith. You may find something you like there. So Rocky is one of these distros that sort of, well, it's been around a little while, but it's CentOS style distro. So this and Ulma are sort of slugging it out as the new home for CentOS refugees. So if you are looking for Rocky Linux, there we go. If you are looking for some CentOS continuation in your life, then Rocky and Ulma are where you can find that, and you can try them both out in Quickemu. So there you go. It's all good stuff. Slackware, look at all of this. We managed to fold an awful lot of code here just by sort of taking a look at their repository structure and aligning things to use the same names that they publish things under upstream, rather than using our own naming in Quickemu and then having a bunch of statements to adapt the naming. So what I've done is I've aligned everything in Quickemu. You'll see commits from yesterday, I think, that you always use the upstream casing and names for their releases and editions, and it just means there's no code now in in Quickemu to account for those changes, which is, you know, just pointless, corrupt and nonsense. And if you're familiar with the distro, why would you use current instead of latest or whatever the, you know, the upstream naming might be? So Slackware, we're at S, so I think we're nearly done with all of this, and then we can go and dig in and have a look at all the new stuff that people's submitted overnight. So Solus, still going. And again, we did the same thing. We used the same release names and edition names as upstream, so we don't have to do any of the conversion between the different naming conventions. So, so Graham makes a good point. That he says once you get any of these desktops into your muscle memory, they're all pretty capable. Yeah, I agree with that. I think once, you know, I'm obviously using Mate Desktop, but I don't use the desktop. It's just the thing I use for shuffling the applications, or it's the applications that I use. And yeah, it's in my muscle memory. You know, I created this distro. It's got all the keyboard shortcuts that I love, so I'm very comfortable here. It's my comfortable pair of slippers. I know all of the shortcuts. I can move things around very quickly. It's effortless. I don't have to think about it. Obviously, when I was at Canonical working on desktop team, I was using Ubuntu exclusively, because you can't lead that team and not use that desktop, right? But you know, after a couple of weeks, that feels very natural and comfortable. These people that have very resistant feelings about which desktop that they want to use, I feel that that's being a little bit too stuck in the mud, because actually, if, like you say, if you try anything for a couple of weeks, you'll find you'll be just fine. Get along with it just fine. So what was this? This was Solus. The one thing I have been interested in, I mean, I don't want to start another project, but it is one that keeps burning at the back of my mind. I'm really interested in like building a Wavefire implementation on top of Ubuntu. I think that calls to me. That calls to me a little bit. So Paddy N.I. says they've just reinstalled Ubuntu Mate on their main workstation yesterday after a year with KDE Neon. It's amazing how I instantly feel at home with Ubuntu Mate. Well, thank you very much for the kind words, Paddy. That's lovely to hear. And Linux Paul likes stock GNOME. I don't think anything ships stock GNOME, actually. So you're on Fedora. I'm pretty certain that's not stock either. I think it's more stock than Ubuntu, but it isn't stock. Regolith is the best i3 distro, Linux Paul says. Yeah, I think so. I think they do that really well. You could add Cloud Ready OS. Yeah, Cloud Ready. Yeah, it's been a while since I've used that. But yeah, we can, Graham. There is definitely a tribal mentality. It's a shame, really, because if we've chosen Linux, there's so few of us. or rather if we've chosen the Linux desktop, there's so few of us, we should probably be more comrades and supporting of one another despite our differences. But there's too much infighting and there's not enough of us to, you know, for that to be sustainable or sensible. Right then, I don't think I've found a desktop I like yet. I want tiling. Yeah, the tiling things that's like a real connoisseur. You know, if you know you want tiling, you know you want particular features, and they tend to be not created equal. So it does take a bit of time experimenting with the tiling stuff to find, you know, the place that you feel comfortable. Yeah, so I don't think so. I think Fedora ship extensions in their implementation as well. Okay, so this was void. So we're nearly there. We're doing V and Z, and then we'll be all caught up. So this is the void. It's been interesting testing some of these out over the last couple of weeks, taking a look at, you know, what people have contributed, because some of these distros I've not used in ages, and it was a nice way to actually give them a try. And there we go. And then Zorin. The Zorin website makes for an interesting read. They're really focused on, like, it not being a Linux desktop, but rather it being a platform that they're trying to sell to businesses and home users, and creating an ecosystem of like support tools around it, doing all of the phone integration stuff and enterprise management stuff. Really have to take my hat off to the Zorin brothers. They're doing pretty cool stuff over there. Right then, this is the point at which I hope this all works. So that's all committed, so we're all caught up. What we'll do is go and actually just do a very quick test. So we just go to my home directory. We'll make let's just maybe make that. Oh, didn't mean to do that, did I? There we go. Let's make a directory, test, go in here and run no, not QuickEmu, development, QuickEmu project, QuickEmu, QuickGet. So let's start with something simple. So if we just run QuickGet, that should list. So I'm running from that version that we've just been working on. That's the list of supported operating systems. So let's go with everyone's favorite, Ubuntu Mate. That now tells me what's available. We've changed the labels for the daily images to be correct, and now Daily Canary is an Ubuntu proper specific release. But what I've done is we automatically flip that to Daily Live for the flavors. So if I now looking here, there's my Ubuntu Mate Devel, which is correct. So that started downloading correctly. So let's try something small. Let's try Alpine. And let's do 315. So quickly grab Alpine. This will download the thing. I think this has got hashes. It has. It did the hash check. There it is. So we'll actually run this up and make sure that this boots. This is just a quick smoke test to make sure I haven't broken anything horribly. I did test this last night, so I'm pretty confident it should be okay. If I now go up here and bring this down, there we go. There's the Alpine image. That should boot and get going. There we go. That works. Right, we'll get rid of that. We'll let's do another one. So someone was just mentioning Fedora. So Fedora is one of the ones that I've worked on and added a bunch of support for recently. So now we can do Fedora 35 and let's do Silverblue. Seeing as though we were talking of that earlier. So yep, it finds the image, it starts downloading it, and well, we won't wait 5 minutes for that to download, but that will download and it would create the the VM configuration. Let's just quickly make sure that we haven't broken anything on the Windows side of the house. Well, let's do 11. So will that find the URL correctly? That has danced through some APIs, but yes, it did find that fine. We'll do a macOS test quickly. Oh, I need to fix this keyboard. I took a stabilizer out accidentally and it keeps getting stuck. So QuickGet macOS. Let's do Catalina. And that should start downloading. Well, it builds all the open core stuff first. I wonder if I should do this on Windows, is actually build the unattended stuff first. So that's downloading too. So that's sort of the important stuff. Let's try Popey's change, which was, I've done it again. Popey's change, which was for Ubuntu. So we'll do Ubuntu proper. So we've now got the version numbers. Let's do 2110 and go. So there we go. Thank you very much, Popey. This makes much more sense. You were dead right about that, using version numbers. So that will download Ubuntu proper. And then if we just try this, which is daily live, which is the current daily image for what would become 2204, is currently codenamed Jammy. This you'll see is a little different because what this does is it uses Z-Sync to automatically enable developers who use this tool, because when we originally created this it was intended to be a means of testing distros, specifically Ubuntu. So what you can do here is you get this Ubuntu devel directory and it will have created Ubuntu devel.iso, so it renames the ISO as it downloads it with Z-Sync, and it means that tomorrow I could run QuickGet again and refresh that image. So it's a way to stay on top of the current development releases. So that's all working. I think enough of that means that I didn't break anything. So we'll push that up. Get that all in. So there you go, Phil. I've just broken everything in the pull requests now. So now we'll go and see what's in the pull requests that can still be merged, because I wanted to make this change because this should be the last big breaking change. Yeah. So this we'll actually implement in a different way, because this is this gonna, yeah, it has conflicting changes. So they're suggesting changing from the DVD image to the CD image. So if we just take a look at the diff, we can see that that was simply achieved by changing DVD1 to disk1. So what I think we'll do is I'll demonstrate how we use additions, which is a new capability to actually add support for both. So let's find in here, this was FreeBSD. And if we go down here, we've got releases FreeBSD. If we create a new function called additions, and I think that was it disk 1 and DVD 1? I think that was what we saw in here. Yeah, so DVD is what it's currently using. They're proposing disk 1. So if we come back here, that should be all that's required. Just adding that one function. Actually added an extra space. So if we save that, if we now come back here and run this now, Quickemu. If we run FreeBSD, we will see that it now tells us about the editions without having to do anything else. So it now says I can do disc 1 or DVD, and the first edition, the edition that's listed first, is the default. So if I hit return now, we get disc 1, and if I change that, I can choose DVD 1 and I can get the DVD edition. So with that simple change, we've been able to add support for both, but default to the smaller image, which is what this contributor is suggesting is the correct default. So that was a lot of effort, like refactoring the code base, but that demonstrates how much easier it is now to work with QuickGet as a contributor to expand the distribution support. And now if we do this QuickGet list, this is a CSV of all of the supported distros. And if we 339, why is that lower? That's curious. That was 371 yesterday. I've broken something. What did I change? Did I remove anything? That's a little bit worrying. That was 371 yesterday, and now it's 339. So I have broken something somewhere. Grep FreeBSD, because we should have more BSDs now, because instead of having just 3 versions, there should be 6, 1 for each of the flavors. Have I? Oh, I did remove some editions, Graham. I did. I went through and checked all the Android stuff, and some of those were busted, so I've removed them. So actually it does make sense. I've removed some Android things. I did remove some others as well. What was it? Oh, Rocky had got versions that it was advertising that it had never ever released, so I removed a bunch of that. So actually it does make sense that it's fewer now, because I did find some bogus entries. Yes, thank you for the reminder. Has my tea gone cold? It totally has. Look at this. Look, there it is. Hasn't been touched for an hour, so consequently cold tea. Disappointed. Right then, let's go and close that. So we'll do this. We'll add that. We'll add additions to FreeBSD to support disk 1 and DVD 1, and that will close whatever this was, 383. There we go. So we'll push that up. Let's go and see what others we can expedite quickly. Oh, I'm on the wrong virtual screen. Yeah. There's not much worse than cold tea. Indeed. But the good news is I'll go and make tea. So this was an interesting one. So again, I'm not going to implement this the way it's suggested here, but we will add it. So diff. This uses a bunch of sed replaces, and that just looks complicated. So what we'll do is we'll go and find out where the Debian netinst images live, because I can't remember off the top of my head. Here we go. It's automatically started downloading that without me asking for it. That's curious. Copy the link address and let's go into the code here. Search for get Debian. So we've got if release is this. So why would we not just add a thing here that says netinst URL equals, and then this we drop because the ISO is, hang on a second, Control Z, edition, that's correct, release. Okay, so the ISO needs to change as well for netinst, so we'll do both like so. And that's going to be, that will be release. And that will also be release. No. Netinst is the release, not the edition. Hang on a minute, we're going to have to think about that for a moment. No, that's right. No, it is the same. It's the same format. It's the same format, isn't it? We have the version number in the edition. It's exactly the same as what's defined above. We don't need to change that at all. I'm getting confused. Happens more and more, I find, these days. So that's how we would do this. And that's the path that we're going to use. So that's all that's required. We have netinst 11 and older versions. We shouldn't need to change anything else. We'll remove that blank line there, and then we'll go and find the editions for Debian, and here it is, and we will add netinst on the end there. So if we come over to here, we just clear, we should be able to do a QuickGet Debian, and we should see that netinst is listed. So I should be able to do 11.2.0 netinst. No, it didn't find it. Okay. Oh, because that path is not going to be right. What did I miss? In the case statement, you had it switching on the release. And it's not a release, is it? It's an edition. Yeah, okay. So you're right. What I need to do is just have this, which is you could do it in a case, I suppose. Oh gosh. Up it. Where did that come from? There we go. There we go. That, I think, is probably what we need. What have I overlooked? In. There we go. Let's try that again. Nope. Okay. That's suggesting it downloads this. So let's take what it thinks it should be here. That's created that. And in actual fact, we want it to be what have we got? Ah, right. Debian. Oh, it does need to change the ISO image as well. Okay. Yeah. There we go. So this is... doesn't have the live in it. So we want the name to be like that, but with the release here. And the edition here. Right then. Let's try that again. There we go. So now we're getting 11.2 netinst, and if we come back here, does 10.11.0 netinst work as well? No, it doesn't. That's in a different path because it's going to be in the archive. Oh, hello. Okay. So, maybe that said replace isn't looking so shonky now. I'm just trying to think of a better way to do this, because otherwise I'm going to have to put conditionals inside this case and stuff, and that's going to be ugly AF. I suppose we could do. Yeah, okay, so let's go and look at the PR, because what did they actually do? That was unnecessary. I think they didn't. Did they change anything? No, they've still got the archive path. And then they said if edition equals netinst, then do that. Well, let's try it. Let's do what they originally proposed, which is this. Why is that complaining? Because these need... And actually we can probably use bash substitutions here rather than sed as well. So I think that's probably what this is going to be telling us from shell check. Yeah, use variable. So we could do that very thing. Do ISO, and we'll do dash live dash, I think is what that is the equivalent of. And the URL we're replacing the same. We're doing it twice though, so maybe keeping that is reasonable. But let's have a go. Let's do URL, and then we're going to replace live like so, and then we'll URL. And then we'll do the same again, and we'll replace hybrid with CD. That I think I've got that formatting right. Let's see if that works. Let's get rid of that. Save that and come here. Let's do 10. No, it didn't like that. Is it still like this? It doesn't like that either. So I think I have to allocate that to something. We'll keep what was originally done. I'll look into this. Let's do that. Does that work? No. So 10. There we go. There we go. We'll take that. I might tweak that another time, but there we go. That does what's required. And what changes did I make here? Was that? Yes, it was. Okay, that's good. Okay, so we'll take that and then close the thing. So what was this? This was 381. Go to here. And the reason why I'm doing this merge here is because the other changes that I just made introduce a bunch of conflicts and they won't be able to merge their code otherwise. Right then, so let's have a little look here. So Graham asks, this is slightly unrelated, but perhaps worth asking now anyway. Where will the URL for 11.3 live? Will the top case statement provide the right answers? No, so we don't have anything at the moment for Debian that automatically discovers like the latest release. And that's something that Phil and I have been discussing, well, not discussing, but we're aware of, that we need to think about this, because we've had distributions that release new versions and then the download links stop working and they have to be updated. So something for us to think about.
TNTION.
How are we pronouncing that? Tension? Is that, or tension? Is that how we're pronouncing that? Welcome. Thanks for the follow. Welcome to the stream. So yeah, that's something we need to give some thought to. Some of the distros, like the rolling ones, they just have an entry for latest or current or whatever their upstream is, and you can just grab them. Tension. Yeah. welcome to the stream. Okay, so add Debian netinst to the additions, and that closes. I think I said it was 381. Yeah, 381. So we'll commit those changes. We'll get those pushed up. And then we'll come back here and we should find that's closed out now. And I saw this from Phil. I wasn't quite sure what Phil was driving at here. Phil's still here. So, let's look at the diff. So that's just changes in the formatting, but this is it. So remove. Oh, so it should just be Slackware, not Slackware Linux. Is that right? This would have come from the original contributor. So let's have a look. Slackware Linux. Slackware Linux, Slackware Linux, Slackware 15. Okay, chat, come on then, let's settle this debate. Is it Slackware Linux or is it Slackware? let's get consensus. Which is it? Is it Slackware Linux or Slackware? Whatever you lot suggest is what we'll go with. So, Boogiebug says, how about URL current and URL archive for the URL vars? Yeah, well, yeah, I'm trying to keep the proliferation of variables. So, Popey says, Wikipedia says Slackware. Okay. They had Slackware Linux, you changed the README. Slackware says Slackware. Okay, in the logo it has Linux. Yeah, I know, right? Click the official announcement link. Where am I seeing official announcement? Okay. What is this? I can't read. What am I looking for in this Slackware release announcement? Okay, Slackware. Slackware, not Slackware Linux. Okay. I think we've got that. It's just Slackware, right? Yeah, okay. Slackware it is. So I will just go and find that in here. So it's these function names are Slackware and Slackware and Slackware, and the pretty name must go. There we go. Thank you.
Thank you for the follow, Rajesh Burwell.
Hello Rajesh, welcome to the stream. Thanks very much. Right then, let's check the README and make sure that just says Slackware. I see. Right, I understand now, Phil. Thank you for your diligence. What was this then? This was 380. So let's get that merged in. There we go, Slackware. Oh, those were the times I was, oh my goodness.
Thank you for the follow, Boojabugs.
Hey Boogie Bugs, thank you very much for the follow. We've just hit our current goal. That was surprising. I'm gonna edit that very quickly. Let's go and do this. Let's do this thing. We'll end that one. Oh, you Twitch and your stupid notifications that sit over the top of things. So let's do that and start that one. There we go. You can rest easy, Yannick. You're thank you very much. Right then, so that's one more conflicting PR change we won't have to deal with now. So I'm hoping to get why is my virtual screen misbehaving? Right, so that's, oh, I haven't pushed it up. That's why that's not closed. So let's push that one up. yes, Yannick, thank you very much for all of your corralling. I must send you that box of stuff by way of thanks. FreeDOS, I don't think we're there. Oh, these are the issues. So what have we got left? Some white space rules. Let's see, is this going to merge? It does. It's going to be broken because it won't be supporting the new stuff that I've just pushed this morning, but I can go in and fix that up. So, that's sensible. Yes, it's going to be legacy boot. And then I can just go and tweak this. So let's go and do this thing. Let's merge that as is. And then, oops, I'm in the wrong place. Let's merge that as is. And then we'll then tweak it to make it compatible with the new stuff.
Cenobite_.
Hey Cenobite, thanks very much for the follow. Thanks very much and welcome to the stream. So let's go and get that in, and we'll pull that in as a squashed merge. Confirm that. And now we'll go and pull that down and give it a little finesse. So let's head over here. And that's only going to be here, isn't it? So let's find Dragon. I'll have to go and do this with my daughter because she is mad about anything Dragon related. 621, I know that's the current release because I did look at adding this myself the other day. It needs to be its own guest type. And it does the legacy boot thing, which is correct. So what we can do is we can fold some of this. So that can be defined there. The ISO can be defined here. the hash. We probably don't need the quotes. Oh yeah, we do, because of the way that their BSDs publish. And then all of this can be changed with simply an echo of that, and we'll add the hash there, space between, and that's how we use the new create VM thing. So we go over here, we should be able to Dragonfly BSD, and it tells us 621 is available. And is that going to download? It's downloading. There we go. So that's integrated with our new system of automatically doing all the right stuff based on a simplified getter. So that's good. We'll then commit those changes up. Because I would rather merge something and fix it. So let's say okay, there we go. Oops, I'm gonna have to edit that. I've got a typo there. Let's do edit commit message. Drag on fly. That was a big old typo, wasn't it? Update that. And we'll push that up now. So that's done. And now I'll go and take a look at that FreeBSD stuff, because I had another thought about this. What did they have to say? Asked to reboot, I answer yes. Tries to boot from the hard drive. I close it and I run that again. I see this message. Looks unused, booting from. Still tries to boot. Okay, this one we'll have to look into. I really want to see FreeDOS added. That would be super cool, I think. And then we've got this one here, which is to do with line spacing changes. So let's just go and look at this very quickly. I'm thinking I'm going to merge this and then add the editor config. So what have we got here? Indent size 2. So I've complicated things here, because the indent size for QuickEmu is 2, and on QuickGet, on QuickEmu it's 2, and QuickGet it's 4, due to a quirk of history.
Thank you for the follow, HP Alvarez.
So I'm not sure I've made that easy. Thank you very much for the follow, HP Alvarez. Is that just HP or Alvarez? But anyway, welcome to the stream. So I think I'll accept this, and maybe I'll have to do one of those big damn dirty, like, shunt everything to equal spacing at some point, but we'll go with this because I saw this comment from Phipps, who's another one of the sort of project maintainers that's been helping out, that there is a editor config parser for VS Code. So the first thing we're going to go and do is go and find that in the Visual Studio Code marketplace. That's the only one, I think. So editor config, let's just go and check if that's the one that the Phipps was referring to. Okay. Yeah, that's the same thing, isn't it? Okay, let's go and get that then. Install. That's done. And now let's go to here and get this merged in, because why not? Oh, we're in the wrong spot. Let's go back. There we go. Squash and merge. You can set different rules for files located in your repo. Okay, check the examples. Yeah, that's a great bit of feedback, actually. I was just thinking that maybe we should modify that per file. So let's have a look at that. Having never done this before, let's actually go and do that thing now. So if we go here, close that. We should see that there is a thing not... Oh, is it at the bottom of the file? I think it might be. Oh, it's not there at all. Oh. How about I pull those changes in? That might help. Let's do that. There we go. Now let's go and have a look. So there we go. So this one is 2. Tab stop, shift width. Yes. But this one is 4. Curiously. Don't ask how I managed to get into that pickle. And then code editor config. So can I just do this and say Quickemu and then QuickGet and make that 4. How does that look, Boogie Bugs? Have I got that right, or am I doing it wrong? What do you think? I'm deferring to your prior knowledge here. This is the first time I've encountered these things, so what do you think? Am I doing it right? Oops. Right then. So I'll just wait and see if Boogie Bugs is able to weigh in on that. I feel like I'm doing it the right way, hopefully. Trim trailing white space. Why would we not want to trim trailing white space on a markdown file? I'm not sure. I usually do, but whatever. You may need */ somewhere to check examples. We only use gain everywhere. We only use I'm not sure I follow. 2 trailing white spaces on a line of markdown are hard to carry. Are a hard carriage return. Yes, that's true. Yeah. I'm going to go with this and we'll see how we get on. Here. Maybe there is no folder name for these. These are in the root of the project. So I think it should be fine. I'm prepared to wing it. We'll see how we go. There are files. Yeah. They are the files, not the directories. Yeah, they are the file names in the root of the project. Okay, right then, let's go with this. So which is 2 and 4. Yeah, I just don't know how I managed to do that, but there we go. We'll just at least explain away our mistakes. Right then, let's push that back up. And where are we now? I think we looked at the FreeDOS thing, so we know that's in progress. And Phil, you and I need to have a chat about all this good documentation stuff. I need to do some research on that and its related one here, that before I can do anything about those will be a separate project for another day. Right, cool. Okay, that is looking like good stuff, I think. I'm very happy to have Dragonfly in the mix now. Right, where are we? Right, okay, let's drop over here. I think we're making good progress there. Let's go and see who is doing some interesting stuff on that there Twitch today. Ah, yes. Okay, there are a couple of interesting people. Let's head over to our friend here. Right then, I think this is good because we got raided by a channel earlier who were interested in Rust. So we're going to go and raid another channel who is in the, yes, exactly where we're going, Yannick. We're going to Togglebit. So thank you for coming, everyone. We're going to head over to Togglebit's channel. I hope you enjoy what he'll be working on. He is a Rust expert, so we'll be heading over there. Thank you all for coming. And I will see you soon. I'll be back here tomorrow morning and on Slim DevOps tomorrow afternoon. So see you soon. Bye for now.
And then exit command.